Yes, 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 yes. Welcome everyone. We're back at it again. It's been it's been good. It's been good. I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you're fulfilling the things you want to fulfill in life. I hope you're pursuing the things you want to pursue in life. Yeah, I just wanted to come on today for a quick one. Really, just to share some ideas and share some thoughts and see where everybody stands on this. I was asked, what do you name, free Somali minds? Are you saying, like most Somalis are not free? And in any case, I was having this conversation with someone, and the whole concept of freedom came up, right? And it's something that is very interesting. When I think about it, are we free? What is freedom? What what is this thing we call freedom, right? So that's the subject of the day. What is freedom? ومحي حريته حرية للشيء ومحي وياه انت يرفع لقينا دوني on كير هذا I wanted to do a bit of a not too deep, but just at least broach the conversation and start a conversation and have a conversation about freedom. Since we see it a lot, we say it a lot. We especially when people are leave something that they were brought up in, and namely Islam, for example, or anything else for that matter. They want to say that they want to claim freedom, right? They free themselves from some shackles. They free themselves from something, right? And I just wanted to really, I think it's just an interesting topic, and I wanted to kind of go and see what the people's thoughts on this was, and maybe talk about it a little bit. I wanted to start off, you know, with a little video that that I kind of enjoy watching. Um, let's start off with that, and it's my man Morgan Freeman that's gonna be talking. If you guys can let me know if I'm coming in okay. I'm using different headphones, and just I see that my voice is showing on the screen, but I'm not sure if people are hearing me. So can you guys maybe let me know in the chat, in the comments, if you can hear me okay, and if my voice is coming through just fine? Because I don't want to be talking and realize later that nothing was recorded, or my voice wasn't you know perfect. Thank you so much, Tekwiz Isa. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Um, and welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. So how about we start off with the video that I'm talking about, and maybe I think it'll be a nice little appetizer to get us thinking. It's not too long, so let me add it to the stream, and let's see if we can. Thank you so much, Rose. Appreciate you, Alalo. Matsulit. Let me see if I can do that. Yes, and y'all know Morgan Freeman has that voice. So let's listen. The title of this video is "What Does Freedom Mean to You?" So it's pretty cool. It's a little depiction of what people think of freedom around the world. So let's watch together. It's just a 2 minute video.
Freedom is different things to different people. What do you think freedom is?
Sloboda.
Libertà, être libre.
Aspetta, ci devo pensare un attimo.
Freedom. I don't know.
Mogu god da trčim po ulici. Na primjer.
La libertà per me è sottrarsi alle aspettative degli altri.
Свободата за мен е да бъдеш себе си, да бъдеш такъв какъвто си.
Özgürlüğün anlamı daha çok bir baskı olmadan yaşamaktır bence.
Свобода — это отсутствие страха.
الحرية هي الفن، هي الرقص، هي الحب.
自由係可以自己想做乜就可以做乜。
La liberté de parler, de réfléchir et d'agir. Sidit Khonenga.
Ελευθερία για μένα σημαίνει να μπορώ να σκέφτομαι και να κινούμε χωρίς περιορισμούς.
Freedom is the power to create your own existence in this world.
Yo creo que esa es una utopía, yo creo que eso no existe en realidad.
Being happy in your own skin can be extremely liberating.
Volare, nuotare.
自由就係我哋永遠都要追求嘅嘢，但係我哋生下嚟嘅時候就冇自由。
Para mí la libertad es desconectarse de todo.
Freedom is nice.
Oh, freedom is everything.
Wolność jest tam, gdzie umiera prawo. Wolność jest tam, gdzie umiera prawo.
Es algo que todos tenemos, pero no muchos lo conocemos.
Not working, going to the beach.
А свобода явила само когда бих имала крила, па могу да полетам, ниšta manje.
究竟台灣係哪裡裸泳吧？
주말이라고 생각합니다.
Свобода — это любовь.
Свобода is choice.
퇴근 후에 마시는 맥주 한 잔.
Melakukan sesuatu tanpa merugikan orang lain.
Think about that. Freedom. What is freedom?
Yes. So, what is freedom? What is freedom? I see people are in the chats. Yo, Sammy, Sodowo, thank you so much, Sodowo. Um, okay, Salvi says Sammy's having jokes, I guess. Assalamu alaikum. Alaikum assalam, man. I would say Nabat Kurkaga Ahato. Ayan Kordan Laha Sammy. Sodowo. Takeaways, one salami, one kakado, okay. Carl said, "Hello, everyone. Hey, welcome. I posted the link to join. You guys are more than welcome to come and have a conversation about freedom, which isn't a small topic, but I think it's a topic worth kind of discussing in a light-hearted manner because this is not one of those subjects where we can broach and, completely impose what we think and try to say what it means and because it might mean, like Morgan Freeman said, it might mean different things to different people. Someone that doesn't have a freedom of speech might be just seeing freedom of speech as the ultimate freedom. Someone that's living in a very, very dense city might feel like going in nature might be freedom of the person. So freedom can mean different things to different people. So this is one of those subjects that we have to keep lighthearted because everyone has a definition depending on their circumstances, depending on what they're living, what reality they're living. Freedom can mean all types of things to all types of people. There's freedom of consciousness, to think, to believe or whatever, in whatever you want or however you want. There's a freedom. There's financial freedom for people that are struggling with finances. That could mean a whole lot, right? And they might be perceiving people that have a lot of money as being free, and people that don't have. So this is one thing that I thought. If the basic needs of a human being, right, is to, let's say, eat, sleep, and if that's all we really needed, right, then people will be very happy in prisons, right? People will be super happy in they're in jail. They will be super happy and not really complain because they're being fed and they're being given a shelter, right? But we know that's not where it's at. We know people can't wait to get out of jail. Why? Their basic needs are met. They're fed, they're clothed, and they have shelter. So why do they want to get out? Why do they want to leave so bad? So this is the conversations that need to have sometimes because we fight for something so hard and then realize, do we even understand what this thing is? Do we even understand what it means to us? Do we don't get me wrong, right? I know myself, like I want to be a free person. I want to be able to go and experience this thing called life the way I see fit. You know what I mean? The way I see it, the way but the thing is, we all have to understand that is going to simply be based on my personal experiences, on my subjective views of things, right, and perspective. So I understand that I want to be free. And I understand that being free, in my personal opinion, if I can give you guys my personal take on freedom, I believe that freedom is something that enables the being to reach their most optimal or their most highest status. Only when you have freedom can you attain that, right? Can you elevate yourself to a place of of consciousness, or even just the regular things that you do. You have to be free to practice a discipline, whatever that discipline is, whether it's soccer or jiu-jitsu, to the point where you have to be free for that to attain the best level of whatever that discipline is. So to me, freedom is something that's really needed at the core of humanity. If we're going to say that we want the best out of humans, if we're going to say that we want people to strive to reach that next level, to keep getting us, keep going ahead, as a people, as a nation, as a world, we need freedom. We need that freedom to be exercising and having the the courage to follow this curiosity that we were born with. A child, when a child is born, it's the most curious thing in the world. It wants to touch, it wants to feel, it puts things in its mouth. It's trying to get its bearings in this thing called life. They're doing all kinds of sort of, sometimes, something that might seem embarrassing to an adult, they're doing all kinds of crazy, they're like little monkeys, right? They're doing all kinds of crazy stuff, but they're doing these things because they want to experience it. And when you're raising a child, one thing that in my personal life, what I've realized is that you've got to give that child a certain amount of freedom to just be, without being overly bearing, right? They're called excuse me, they're called helicopter parents, right? There's something called the helicopter parents that just kind of roam on top of their kids, right? I remember this incident when I took my son to the park, right? It was a nice sunny day, and I went to the park, and he was playing. Now, what I do when I go to the park is I let him be. I let him loose, and I sit back on the bench and I just watch, so that he doesn't get hurt or he doesn't bother too many people, things like that. Then they're going. He's playing in the play structures and things like that. And there's another little kid about his age that comes on the play structure, but this kid has uh his father like literally breathing down his neck, literally. And this kid is, you can tell the kid is trying to get away from the parents so he can experience things on its own, right? So it's a very innate thing for a human to kind of want to break free of something and go in and experience life. There's going to be some there's a minimum of security needed, obviously, but like me standing sitting on that bench, I kind of watched that interaction, and I saw this other kid trying to play with my kid and approach him, but his helicopter parent was not letting that happen because he felt like he was bothering him and things like that. And so I finally got up and I went to the kid's father. I'm like, hey man, let's talk. Maybe we should just let them play, right? I don't know if this little bridge can sustain your weight. I said it jokingly, right? I'm not a complete dick. I said it jokingly, and he smiled. He's like, yeah, I just don't want him to get hurt. Yada yada yada, right? And I'm like, no, I mean, I think the ground is made out of all this wood chips, and it's very soft, so that even if the kid falls, they're not getting hurt. So I'm like, I think it's pretty safe. I think we should let them experience it. And I started a conversation with this dude who later, like, while we were conversating, what we didn't realize is that our kids were getting along just fine, and they were leaving each other alone when they needed to, and they were playing together when they needed to, and things were just organically happening. So that, to me, that freedom is needed at every stage of our lives, from a young kid playing in a play structure at the park to a grown person, or even a scientist wanting to learn about things, right? Wanting to experiment and see what that freedom, obviously, surrounded by some sense of security, obviously, has to be given. In order for things to strive, I think freedom is necessary. I look at the world, and this is like I'm not gonna be coming with facts and things like that today. I just want us to kind of really just broach the subject. When I look at the world today, the places where there's a semblance, I don't believe that anyone is 100% free because there's always going to be circumstances surrounding us that's going to limit us, or whether it's family, thoughts, religion. Oh, there's always something. There's always something, right? I think. So I don't think that there's such a thing as 100% freedom. I think freedom is also something to strive for, kind of like happiness, right? It's something to strive for, but never be, never fully attained, right? But that journey to attain, to striving for it, gives purpose to what it is that we're doing, in my humble opinion. So when I look at the world and I see the very the most free places in the world are also some of the most advanced places in the world, right? I'm talking about technology. I'm talking about medicine. I'm talking about I'm talking about in every aspect of the human being, and the evolution of a society or a community. I look, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I look around the world, and these places are generating and producing scientists. They're producing people that are thinking deeper because they're given a certain amount of freedom to they're provided that freedom, or they have that freedom to be able to do these things, right? Why is it that a Somali person is going to leave Hakuradaye in the Horn of Africa, go to somewhere in Europe, and all of a sudden going to be a great scientist, right? It's not the deficiency in our people, and we are producing some great minds. We do have great minds. It's just that unfortunately, the Horn of Africa, it's not providing the freedom necessary, in my opinion. And you can come on and correct me if I'm wrong. You know what I mean? You can come on and correct me if I'm wrong. Sup, Gallo Nation? I hope y'all doing well. I'm the one to divert. You definitely diverting. Doing well, man. And so do what I think. But what I say, I'm not sure if male or female, but you know. I would say you're a guy. But anyways, so do so what I was gonna say is, like, why is it that a Somali person is gonna leave Hakudaye, the Horn of Africa, and go to America or Europe or anywhere else in the world, and become attain or achieve a certain level of life that wasn't provided in our own home country? You know what I mean? Like, to me, that hurts me a little bit. That hurts me a little bit because then it shows that it's not that we are deficient. You know what I mean? It's that we're not given the proper freedom to exercise it, and to kind of go through, and to kind of to live in, and to experiment, and things like that. Up until not too long ago, speaking of scientists, right? Up until not too long ago, it was, I think, it wasn't USDA approved to experiment, or to sell medicine made out of CBD or a THC. That was frowned upon. It was like, no, 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 no. That was I think it was uh class A drug, like marijuana or hemp even. And hemp is, but when they realized, and they kind of gave people, okay, let's say, let's take it off this class A drug, and let's decriminalize it, and that happened. What happened is there's been a lot of research that's been done that now came to fruition, and now they give like CBD oils to, let's say, kids that are having seizures, and it's helping with that. You see, the scientists, when given how could I say it, that freedom to do the research, to kind of expand our and follow our curiosity a little bit more, we are finding out great things that are helping humans in general. And same thing now is happening with psilocybin mushrooms and things like that. People talking about microdosing. All of these things used to be frowned upon. All of these things used to be seen as some druggy, crackheadish type of thing, right? It's only once we're giving the freedom, once we're given the freedom to operate in and to experiment, to follow that curiosity, can we come up with these things. I'm not saying, go smoke an ounce. What I'm saying is we've got to be able to look into these things in a mature way, and that can only happen under the guise of freedom, right? Sami said we can't learn we can't learn there, so we seek freedom from the Western country. I wish I could disagree with you, Sam. You're so right, and that's at the end of the day, that's what irks me as a Somali man. That's what kind of irks me. That's what gets to me. All of these things, right? Nobody's gonna tell me what to believe or what not to believe and things like that. I can do these things. Like, you can force me, you can put me in shackles and say this is what you believe, and I'll just stay there and not really produce anything. As a matter of fact, I'll be depressed as hell, because I'm not following my natural inclination of freedom, and I'm not seeking it because I'm not given the framework to strive for freedom. And so, unfortunately, what's happening is that we're losing. We're having a brain drain in the Horn of Africa, where a lot of the people that are uh, learning and things like that it's happening in the West. I'm hoping that there's going to be an exodus back into the Horn of Africa and we can import those things, but a whole lot will have to change before that happens at a faster and faster pace, because it's already happening in snippets. But like, there's a whole lot of people that are being, you know, red tape and so forth. So you're right, Sam. We can't learn. We can't strive. We're not given the فرصتنا لما سينياسيا دي هورماريس udaba soconno lama siinayo. So what happens? Well, the Somali person says, fuck it. I'm gonna leave here, which is dhulkaygii hooyo waan ka tegayaa, meel kale aan aadayaa, oo waxaan soo baranayaa maxaa ku dhahdaye luqad kale soo baranaya, af kale soo baranaya, and I'm gonna strive that way, and I'm gonna do my contribution to the world that way, right? Anigu, I struggled with that because it's so true, and it's something inside of me hates it so much, because it's kind of like saying that the Somali person can only strive when they're under the laws that are not from Somali people. Yeah, I mean, we were almost incapable of coming up with rulings or laws or things like that are going to help us strive as Somali people, right? Are we incapable of it? Are we not wanting it? Like, I'm not sure what's going on, but something obviously has to change. And Sammy, you've depicted it perfectly. You said we don't have the freedom and we seek freedom. So the whole point of this is, what is this freedom that we're seeking? What is this freedom? So I'm asking you guys in the chat if you want to comment what you guys think of what freedom is. And in the meantime, I wanted to play another video that is actually just called that. It's called "What is Freedom?" Right? But before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and welcome Somali Rose to the pitch. What's going on, Somali Rose? Can you hear me? Hey, Somali Rose. If you're speaking, you're on mute, so maybe unmute yourself then.
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Hi, how you doing? Okay, can you hear me, Somali Rose?
Hear you now. Can you?
Okay. Well, how about you hold tight? I'll put on the video and then we'll discuss after. Okay, I'll do that, because this video essentially is talking about what it is that we're talking about, and it's gonna kind of broach on what freedom is. Obviously, to take it for what it's worth, it's one person's opinion. Your opinion is just as valid, just as important to add to the conversation. So, well, sort of way the fikra dinana. In the meantime, let's watch this video entitled "What is Freedom." It's not so long, so let's watch it together.
Let's talk about freedom. What does freedom mean to you? Does it mean having rights in your country? You know what they say, having freedom from oppression? Some people think freedom is all about having money, the freedom to have things that they want. And then there's the freedom to do, the ability to go wherever you want and to have all of your wishes become reality. Most people fantasize about not having to work ever, and they often equate a sense of freedom with being physically healthy. Physical health and not having financial burdens are definitely a part of freedom. Have you ever met anyone who has all these things taken care of? Are they free? Have you ever considered the life of a celebrity? Do they seem free to you? Or people in the first world, do they seem free? If you ask them about freedom, what do you think they would say? Are they stress-free? Are they free from addictions? Are they free to be who they really want to be? Obama's the leader of the free world. Ever notice how gray his hair got after he became president? There's a lot more to freedom than we commonly think. Political freedom, financial freedom, and physical freedom only make up half of what is truly freedom. Because there's internal freedom and external freedom. Internal freedom is what happens inside of you, and external freedom is about your surroundings and your environment. To better explain this, I'll talk about some threats to freedom. Let's start with external freedom, which relates to the ability to have or to do. Threats include injustice, criminals, or environmental challenges. And now, internal freedom. Threats to internal freedom are things like dogma, irresponsibility, fears, and bad habits. So what is internal freedom? I think a better question is, where is internal freedom? Obvious answer, inside of you, inside your personality, inside your thoughts, inside your consciousness, inside your heart. Internal freedom relates to things like balance and self-control and calmness and determination and willpower. It's all about the freedom to think what you want and to feel what you want and to be what you want. And the struggle for control over your inner world is just as important as the struggle for control of your outer world. If we aren't in control of our thoughts, how can we decide what we learn? And if we don't control what we learn, how do we control how we evolve? Both internal and external freedom have a lot in common. I think freedom is about safety in a way. Safety to let yourself have the experiences that you want to have. And to me, safety relates closely to security. Security is obviously an important component to external freedom. I think security goes hand in hand with confidence. And I think that confidence is a chief factor for internal freedom, because insecurities can keep us hostage. Insecurities can trap us. And then we end up trapping ourselves. But if we had the confidence to know that we were actually in control of our internal freedom, we could set ourselves free. But unfortunately, we've been conditioned to fear that idea that we have the control because we don't want the responsibility. But raising your hand and claiming the responsibility is the only way to win your internal freedom. I think that power is directly connected to responsibility. But once you can own your responsibility, then you can get back your power and win. In future videos, I'll talk more about internal freedom when I talk about the might of thought. But right now, let me summarize. There are two types of freedom: internal freedom and external freedom. While they operate in different spheres, both are intimately connected and related to each other. Both are important for our healthy development. We are physical bodies and consciousnesses at the same time. But I think these days we must pay special attention to our internal freedom. Accepting your own personal responsibility is the key to internal freedom. What does freedom mean to you? This video was inspired by Felia's Freedom article. I'll post a link to it in this description.
So, internal freedom and external freedom. That's a great concept. Both are needed. I think we need to have an internal freedom to be able to manifest it outwardly in the external world. Oftentimes, we have to have a balanced approach, right? Uh, the way I look at it, and I'll speak for myself. The way I look at it, because there's so many different things that are in this world that are going to go against your own freedom or not let you be free. The way you strive for it is to first think about it. I think about things all the time. I think about it, and I kind of go through the I go through the series of thoughts and arguments that can come against my point of view, right? So I try to put myself against myself, if you will, to test if what I'm saying, what I'm thinking is actually valid, right? Otherwise, it becomes an echo chamber in your head, and you just always. I'm not saying I'm free from confirmation bias. Obviously, I have confirmation bias, just like anyone else. We all have biases, but like I try as much as possible to go against my own point. And one thing that does for me is it calms me down. It makes me feel like, oh, okay, well, other people can also have thoughts and a different way of thinking and things like that. So it calms me down. I do it to calm myself down and not to think that my way of thinking is the only way, right? There's so many other ways of thinking and so many other ways of putting things together. Now you guys see the background today. I picked that guy. I know Gil Jiraha Somali Guest Africa. Iska our Sigi Alkis in all of his camels, right? Look, Sigi Gilkisi, is that guy free? Like to me, from where I stand in Canada, he's walking on salt. I think, well, like Asad Hakasi in, and I'm looking at outside my window right now, and I see snow, right? To me, like that guy is living the life. He's living his best life, right? He might be wanting to come to Canada. So what I'm saying is we all have a perspective of in our different realities. But I don't want to, keep blabbing. But Somali Rose, why don't you come in? What are your thoughts? What are you thinking?
It's a very interesting topic. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay. I don't know, freedom. I think I remember growing up, and I used to live in my own room by myself, and my grandmother wouldn't let me stay and stare at the mirror and stay in my own thoughts. And he said, why can I just stay in my room and stay in my thought? So that's one thing, I think you don't have freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's dope. That's dope. Let me Somali Rose, let me add تكهمدو ما دقي صاحب تكهمدو وركون مغلا ندي ميت كسو بحنيه هو yeah. تكهمدو, are you hearing us, bro? No. Okay, I'm not sure if it's okay. What's on enough? We'll see. Tugahamado, if you hear us, please come out of mute and say something, man. But otherwise,
No, man, I don't know in المقلس لكن I'm trying to fix. Wait a minute.
إمكانكم مغلنا صاحب إمكانكم مغلنا. Okay, so do صاحبه, so do. Okay, maybe he's gonna come back in. So Somali Rose, put up your voice a little bit, man. Let's talk about this. What do you think? What do you think? How do you like when I said that this guy in the background? He's walking on salt, with his camels, and we're looking at snow right now in Canada. So what do you think? Who's free?
No, that's freedom. I absolutely think the fact that he's walking barefoot. Is he barefoot or when he's in his
No, you wouldn't be able to walk barefoot. It's too hot.
It's too hot. But still, just the fact that, but he's not really 100% free because he's got to take care of all these camels. I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're thinking freedom as in he's free from the cold, free from the coat and
exactly
and the sweaters, Mm-hmm. That's probably it. He is free.
Okay. تكهمدو بل إنك أولو مغلي مركي تسيب حسي صاحب أنكم مغلي نهاية إنك بل هذا أنتكم مغلان دون نادنا
هذا مخلوصة
أديك مش يجي
Can you hear me
Somali
now?
I was talking to تكهمدو
مغلسان
واسفي عم بالغو مغلا صاحبه وحدة نوغا شاقنيو محادي كلطة هاي حريد وما حي. And by the way, Somali Rose, I started like just today. My titles. I'm gonna try and put them both on in Somali and English, just to help out. Maybe
to help out people like us,
Exactly. Exactly. See, and لغة ندوب سوء عشان أفكي ندوب سوء عشان سمعنا. يا هاتو كهمدو كسو دو صاحب.
Yeah.
محكولتها حريد محكولتها هذا جو حريد النية.
Yeah, we can use both لكن كنا وين هاد كنا.
آد صاحبه آد وكل ده عليها.
In my mind, niyahow, first of all waa in marka xorriyadda laga hadlo waxaan ka fikirnaa meel bayn kasoo cararaynaa meel bayn u cararaynaa dad badan baa idhahdaa okay xorriyad baad ka hadlaysaa marka ma waxaad nala rabtaa western values xorriyadda reer galbeedka laakiin anigu waxaan u malaynayaa xagga meeshaas buu khalad ka bilaabmadaa guys waayo dhe markaan xorriyad raadinayno waa inayn inagu marka hore israadino maxay nahay valueskeenu waa maxay guys waxaan lahaan jirnay xeerar dhaqan ma fahantay marka aniga xorriyaddu waxa weeye very important ma fahantay markastoo ideolojiyo kale ama values kale ama reer galbeed ha noqdaan ama middle eastern ha noqdaan aan wax kale ku xidhannahay waxaan xorriyaddu ma imanayso adigoon ogeyn waxaad tahay ciddaad tahay xaggaad kasoo jeedid ma fahantay anigu myself ma fahantay markii aan soo baraarugay oo aan yiri waa maxay talo soomaalinimadu waa maxay dhaqankeenii hore waa maxaan ahaan jirnay valueskeeni maxay ahaan jireen ama ha wanaagsanaadeen ama ha xumaadeen ma fahantay ayaad xorriyadduba xaggaasay ka bilaabanaysaa dareemaysaa wow I can feel something waxbaan dareemayaa ma fahantay waxbaan dareemayaa xornimada matanba marka xornimadu waa so many levels marka dambe waxay imanaysaa magaraysaa inaad adigu israadisid maxaad jeceshahay so waa many levels weye ma fahantay laakiin baseku waxa weeye waa ninka geeliisa daba socda I think salt ama milix ayuu xeebta kasoo qaadaya marka wuxuu geynayaa inlandku geynayaa oo intiisaas ma fahantay iyo jidkaas xornimo cadceediisaas biyihiisaas ma fahantay inkastoo harsh life ahaan karto laakiin waxaan kusoo gabagabeynayaa xorriyad waxa weye horta asa community asa maxaan ku idhahdaa qowmiyad maxaa tahay xaggaasay ka bilaabanaysaa marka dambe deep down level by level ayaa magaraysa laakiin waa journey waa raadin ma fahantay weligeedna maaha too late inaad israadisid waxaad tahay inagu soomaali hadday nahayna waxaan ka fikirnayo haddii aan xorriyad iyo wax raadino diinta waxa weeye diintan ka baxaya ama diintaydiiba no waxa weeye step by step ma fahantay qofku ideology ama wuxuu aaminsanaan karaa rag baa reer waaqa ma fahanto dad badan baa imika reer waaqood soo toobad keenay anyways laakiin waxa weeye level by level weye xaggaasaan ku yara jejinaya
mahadsan tagahamoodo aad baan kugu mahad celinayaa saaxiib Somali Rose, what do you think about that? What do you think is freedom maxaan ku idhahdaaye maskaxda mise waxa dibadda kaga dhacayo like can someone take your freedom physically but you'll still have freedom of consciousness you'll still be free inside. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. Like you said, it's inside and the outside, right? But the freedom that you get from the inside, like the journey, right, to free yourself from the inside is way more exciting and way more important because the shackles on the outside, and it's easier to just unlock because sometimes the door is not even locked. It's just the lock is in your mind. The lock is just really you believing that these things are stopping you from what you want. Sometimes it's like a thought on the night, which is the fear I told you about, right? The fear, like I told you, the false evidence appearing real, right? How you think it's solid, like you can touch, feel, like especially fear, like for example, people that want to dance, people that want to do music, like I might go to hell, fear or dogma. That's not something you can touch. That's not something that's not even rational, but your brain tells you it is, and you like it's something that you can feel and you can live, right? And then those limitations are the ones we put on ourselves. Who's telling us that we can't be the best dancer, the best singer, the best musician, I mean, whatever it is, the best. Who's telling us? So the key is that in our hand, but it's somewhere lost in our mind. We found it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anigo xagana dhaxsan maxaan ku idhahdaaye before you could be free maxaan ku idhahdaaye physically I think horta waa inaad u baahnaatid xorriyadda in your mind
Absolutely.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? You have to kind of know that you want this. You have to know that you have to first understand waxa qiimahay leedahay. Marka su'aashan weydiinay tukahow adaan ku weydiinayaa oo kugu horeysiinayay qiimo maxay leedahay? What's the value of freedom? Maxaan uga baahannahay niyahow? If qof aan haddaan arko horta maahayn jeelka ku jira, prison ku jira, xafiis ku jira. dee cuntaa la siinayaa, dhar baa la siinayaa, meel uu seexdaa la siinayaa. His basic needs are met. Soo ma? Haddaba qiimahan ay leedahay freedomka la sheegayo waa maxay saaxiib? What's the value in it? Tukaha madow. Miyuutaa ku jirtaa saaxiib hadaad hadlaysid?
waa question khataran yahow in jeelka aad sheegaysid waad ogtahay maanta nin hadduu
We lost you. Tukaha madow soo maqlo.
I'm still miyaan ku jira moodka weli
Ah,
maanta waxbay ka seexa
iminka waxaa
okay
ninkaan
anyways jeelka iminka kasoo qaad sentence la siiyey mid 25 years xorriyadiisaba wuxuu jeelka la qabsatay 25 years ayuu jeel ku jiraa maalinta lasoo saaro banaanka loo soo saaro de confuse buu noqonaya waxaana waxa laga yaabaaba inuu u xiiso jeelkii oo is iraahdo xorriyaddii asalka xaggaasay ku jirtaa marka anu waxaa aaminsanahay ama dagaal imika magaraysa sidayna soomaalida oo kale 30 years ayn dagaal ku jirnay waxa laga yaabaa in aan ilownaba xorriyadda asalka oo ayn magaraysa tan xorriyad u malayno marka waxa weeye xorriyaddu waxa weeye always waxa weeye waa inay noqoto wallahi waa su-aal adag laakiin waa inay noqoto wax ama maskaxdaada aad magaraysaa aad ka keenaysid ama experience ahaan ma fahantay aad soo aragtay wax ku dhibay ama aanad ka xor ahayn oo aad markaa dhadhamisay xorriyadda marka waa su-aal aad u adag
aad baa masantahay tukaha madow. Waa runtaay oo aniga waxaan anigu is idhaahdaa heedhe waxaanaan u halgamayno, waxaanaan u dagaaltamayno, waxaan aanu baadi doonayno horta maanu fahansannahay ka horeys oo haddaan fahansannahayna sidee baan u fahansannahay waayo anigu waan garanaya saaxiib haddaan qofna aniga ima sheegi karayo maxaan ku daye qaabkan dee dunida u experiencenayn isaan u arki doono aragtidayda qofna uma daba fadhiisto soo ma tahay laakiinse waan arkayaayo waxaan arkayaa intay qiimo leedahay waxaan arkayaa anigu haddaan doonaya intaan noqdo aragti maha qofkan aan garanayo intaan noqon karayo niyaddeens ilan laba qof baan haysanaa maha maskaxdeena mar kastaba qofka niyadda noogu jira iyo qofkan naxayde soo maaha there's the ideal you and then there's the real you soo ma fahmin marka the real you is always trying to attain the ideal you. So in order to do that journey, waa tiri weyn tukaha madow hada waa safar maskaxiyana waa safar maskaxdu ay qaadato weyn safarkan ku jirna hada saan u qaadano de marka freedomka laga qaado waxaan u arkaa maxaa ka dayayna waa obstacle lagu dhigay meesha obstacle maxaa la yidhahdaa niyo obstacle meesha lagu dhigay oo kale weya marka freedomka laga qaado marka freedomka aad leedahayna obstacle ma jira jidkii ku saafi buu ku yahay وكوين
اسبارو
وكاس اسبارو that's it so madri marka anigu qiimaha ay leedahay waxaan u maleynayaa intay tahay safarka maskaxda ayay ina maxaa ka daye facility garanaysaa ayay easy iga dhigaysaa so same to you in Somali Rose what is freedom what's the value what's the value of freedom before I forget like in Somali Rose tukaha madow wax baad ka dhawaaqdo aad iyo aad doon uga helay waxaa tiri qofka jeelka ku jira after years and years and years hadduu soo baxo jeelkii buu xiisoon karaa waana runta haddeertoole videogan tusay ninkii ka hadlayay waa Morgan Freeman buu ahaa filan aan aad iyo aad iyo aad iyo aad aan u jecelahay haade waxa weeyaan filan uu isagu sameeyey oo maxaa la yidhahdaa waa anigan liqay maaha muxuu ahaa filankii iyo Somali Rose you know which the movie I'm talking about Shawshank Redemption there you go it's on Shawshank Redemption baa la yidhahdaa marka in that movie laftigiisa ayaa noqonaya qof institutionalized waayo markuu jeelka ku dhex jiray prisonka markuu ku dhex jiray wuxuu ahaa ninka loo tago haddaad doonaysid haddaad sigaar doonaysid haddaad doonaysid maxaa ku idhahdaye harmonica haddaad doonaysid waxaad doonaysid somali haddaad ilan prisonka waa society kale ah ayuu ahaa ninkaasuu ahaa nin wuxuu iska ahaa ganacsiyo iska ahaa he was a businessman he was a broker in prison soma fahmi marka he had this sort of maxaa ku idhahdaye identity buu ka lahaa while he was inside the prison he had a certain identity he had a certain maxaa ku idhahdaye status you know what I mean dadku waa la garanayay inta loo tago marka when he left and when he got released I should say when he was freed wuu gaajoonayay intuu ku noqdu doonayay because that's the only place that he knew he understood himself so was that the freedom marka qofka haddii laga qaado freedomka oo loo reality kale la siiyo ma taasa freedom u noqonaysa marka I want to go to you Somali Rose and ask you what is the value of freedom why do we need this what's the point
Why do we need freedom?
Yeah, what's the value of freedom?
Of course, because we can't find our higher self, Mukta. Because when we hear freedom, we're not free to do anything, you know. We're slaves, you know. We're not free to do whatever we want. So, but once we know exactly that there's no limitation, it's like we feel our true unlimitedness. Mukta. Right now,
limitless.
Yeah, we become limitless. Exactly.
Right.
Like right now, we think the limit to ourselves is our body, but it's not. We're more than that. We can be limitless, and I think freedom. Like when you find out when you get to find your freedom, you find out that you're limitless. That's why. Because if you're not, then you'll be in that imaginary prison that you put your mind in for the rest of your life.
That's it.
And why did you come here for? Mukta? Did you come just to stay in that prison? The imaginary prison that you came in? You know what I mean?
That's it. That's it. I want you to think about this question or comment that Hodo made. She said, "You can be free inside if you are willing." I feel like sometimes Somalis lack that willingness. I want you to think about that. But in the meantime, I wanted to welcome Khadr Farah. I think you want to turn off your camera, bro. If you don't want to, that's fine. But your camera is on, so if you want to, there you go. I'll welcome you to the pitch. How you doing? How you doing, bro? You good?
I'm all right. Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm okay.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you, bro. Welcome, man. We're talking about freedom, man. We're talking about freedom today. So before I want you to gather your thoughts because I'm going to come to you and I'm going to ask you the question as well. But Somali Rose, did you have time? What do you think of that comment that brother made?
The willingness to.
Yeah, like she said, you can be free inside if you are willing. I feel like sometimes Somalis lack that willingness. What do you think about that?
The willingness to be free? Do they even know they need to be free?
That's a good question. Do they know?
Some people don't even need to be free. They don't even think they need to be free because whenever I speak to them about this earthly life, almost they don't live here. They're almost they're traveling through this time and they're going somewhere. This is not the place they want to be or they're invested in or they're interested in. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
All right. That's good.
This is not the important life, and this is not the life I'm working towards.
Yeah, so there's almost like a what do you call it? They're kicking. Yeah, they're kicking. Yeah, they're like we say in Canada, like they're kicking the can down the road. Like they're leaving it for another time.
Yeah, this is not the time.
This is not time to be free. Yeah.
Not this time, the next time.
Yeah, we'll be free in the next life. Yeah, that's a good point. And hold on, I think that's a pretty good analysis of your question because you might be right.
This life, I will be free next life.
Exactly. So maybe that's the lack of willingness, Hoda. I want to hear you if you want to say something about that, Hoda. But in the meantime, Khadr Farah, so do we, okay. We're talking about freedom, Sahib, not today. What are
Yeah,
your
okay.
thoughts on that?
Yeah, freedom is something
حريته
that's
حريته maxay tahay niyo? What is it?
حرية freedom something is good. I gotta say something positive. Marka aad samayn kartid, for example, waxa adiga rabtid, that's freedom.
Okay. Okay, marka waxaad rabtid aad doonaysaa samaysid oo maxaa ka mid oo kale nacama intaan neefsado waan doonayaa waan neefsan karaa laakiin intaan wax qoraan doonayaa ma qori karayo ma fahantay like maxay kula tahay adiga
Yeah, marka macnaha oo for example markii lagu dhehaynin saan samee oo for example xabsi ku jirtid oo kaleeto wax kasta waa lagu diyaarinayaa ma fahantay laakiin marka xabsi aan ku jirin oo aad isdhihi kartid maanta waa bixi kartaa waxbaa soo qabsan kartaa oo freedom aan leedahay aad ku samaysid that is a good thing wax kalena waxaa jiro oo freedomka hadduu uu kaa bato then you don't make sense ma fahantay ani saasaas leeyahay you have to put value what's freedom for you.
Exactly. So that's a good point. That's a good point. Actually, you have to choose the value of your freedom.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. So okay, ega waxay hada ku soo qortay hadaba inoo soo qortay dibigeena waxay noo soo qortay hada the value of freedom is so painful, especially when you don't have it. I study psychology somewhere back home, and it feels like I'm studying religion. Everything about it is tied back to religion. So waxaa la moodaa intay wax nahaystaan oo noo diidan intaan duulno ma la moodaa marka although I completely understand what you mean like it's hard, it is painful because maxaa ku leedahay wanadoo halgantidaa halgan bay u baahan tahay waxan we have to strive for it. Nobody said it was going to be easy somehow. So I don't know. What do you think, Somali Rose? What do you think about that? Like, do you think the value of freedom, is so painful, especially when you don't have it? So,
of course, like because you're gonna lose a lot of people, Maha, if you choose yourself, right?
That's it.
In my culture, Somali, and I would always taught to choose everybody else. Like sabr, if you sacrifice yourself, the more you sacrifice, the more Somali you are.
That's it.
Oh, so if you sacrifice happiness, then you'll get your freedom another time.
There's that.
Not in this lifetime.
Absolutely. There's that song that I really like by K9. My, our Canadian artist, right? Somali Rose, K9. That song called "Smile." I don't know if you heard that song, "Smile," of K9. Yeah, do you know who K9 is? K9, the artist. Okay, all right. So his song "Smile." So I'm gonna read a bit of the lyrics. Okay.
Okay.
He goes, "My yeah." What's that?
I probably heard it before, just don't remember. Remind me, please.
Right. It says, "My tragedy's different. My life's deep. Listen, got a bail. I'm limping. Walked out of Hell's Kitchen." Right. And all of this already is like fucking. He's already painting a very, a fucked up image. Somehow, it's like he's painting this image that's like, yo, man, I walked out of Hell's Kitchen. Why bother cherishing? You see, like he's like, but what's the point, right? So, and then he goes, so what do you call it? The refrain or whatever you call it, the hook. It says, "Smile when you're struggling, smile when you're in jail, smile when you're dead broke, smile and rent due, smile you ain't got friends now, smile no one knows you." Never let them see you die. Oh, sorry. Never let them see you down. Smile while you're bleeding. That's very Somali, Mianehen. That's a very Somali mindset.
Healthy?
That's the point, though. Like he's a great artist. He put the pen to paper beautifully here, right?
I love.
But like, what are we finding some sort of some sort of novelty in this?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, we do. We love strong people. Like we had nagnol, you know, this new thing nagnol. Oh my god. And nirrak is like, oh my god, I hate these things. Like you're not supposed to cry.
تفضل سوق صاحبي بس كشك سنة
Go
معي
on,
سوق.
go on, go on. Say it, say it.
Okay. And then I remember I told you about when I went to Somalia and I was like, why is nobody crying? Like 1,500 people just died. Like there was absolutely no emotion. Like the emotion.
Oh yeah, what joogtay ma qarxis kuma ka dhacay joogtay.
Yeah.
Shoot.
But yeah. So the more stoic you are, the more Somali you are. You're supposed to
So
smile.
that's very, very well said. The more stoic you are, the more Somali you are. Why is that though? Like, look, I practice stoicism. I'm a bit stoic. I mean, I'm Somali at the end of the day. Like, I'm stoic, and I think there's value in that as well. Like, it's almost like we're devoid of emotion, and that's the good thing. My friend.
Did you say that's a good thing?
No, in the way we think, in the way in our community, that's prized. That's the thing we prize when it shouldn't be. You know what I mean? Like it's almost as though the more stoic you are, the more unaffected or unbothered you are, the more you're in control of yourself. Or at least that's how it's presented to us, is what I'm trying to say.
The more love you have.
Or more process you get.
Yes.
Yes.
More stress. And they all have a love I was like, why is everybody
Labjah. أنا حنوقنا إن Somali rules حنوقنا مرور دلع.
Yes.
مرور دلع كهلا Somali دنا. Oh, what's wrong with us, man? Like, yeah.
Well,
I
no,
think
no,
we're
like,
yeah,
you know what I believe? You know what I believe? If you free your mind, you know, is a lot of things that comes with it that's positive.
Right.
Yes,
but
the
when
rest
you
will
got,
follow.
huh?
Your mind and the rest will follow.
Exactly. You know, if you just follow that مثلا 3 steps, voila, you will earn a lot of things that comes with it. But
Yes.
soon as you مثلا, for example, like if you take, what I don't like is when a person has too much freedom, like give me this, give me that, give me the what, you know, all these freedoms he got, and he pushes to you. مو فهمت؟ And
Okay.
I feel like, you know, like is something wrong with the person or something, you know, maybe this person don't deserve that much freedom because you have to earn what you're getting. That's what I
Okay,
believe.
marka waxaad leedahay
What
take nasa kasoo jeedaa waxaa kasoo jeedaa nacam waxa la israacinayo wax kasta waxaad doonta iska samee waxa taas ayaad ka hadlaysaa adigu soo
oh
maaha
yeah, all that freedom affects something
within us.
Within us, yeah.
That is very true. How aan kugu
Because
raacsanay
for example, if I listen to that person or like follow his thought or something like that, freedom, mind thinking, it's gonna like put me on a different path for a minute, but later on I come back to my freedom. Which what I value or put respect on it or I protect it. It's a lot of things with the freedom side you have.
No, absolutely. Like I feel like you're talking about adigu more about the freedom in society. Ayaa ka hadlaysaa soo maaha
Addiction. He's talking about addiction because
yeah, because there are all kinds of things that can come out of it, obviously.
Yeah, obviously this it's not only society. I'm just thinking. I'm talking about people's freedom, your own freedom, and yeah, all of that. It's a lot of
Okay,
things,
well,
you know.
Alhamdulillah, said led just recommended a book to us. He said, "Can I recommend a book about freedom, our nature, and the state of humanity?" So it's called Our Nature and the State of Humanity, and it's by Daniel
Daniel.
Quinn. Yeah, Daniel
Yeah.
Quinn. I think that's. I'm not sure what the Ishmael is. Maybe he was trying to write. It's written by Ishmael Balsobah. I don't know what other kind of conversations you're having, said led, where Ishmael is coming up, but go thank you for the recommendation, said led. Appreciate it, bro. Simon Harp said Dementin waxaan leenahay fikrado kala duwan. Waa run? Ha. Well, aad iyo aad way fiican tahay. Holder said it's frustrating and disappointing at the same time because I'm very passionate about it. You know what, Hodo? I feel you, walaalo. Kusoco. I believe, although inta kugu soo yar noqdan doonay qadar waxaad ka sheegtay ka dhawaaqday waxay ahayd I don't like Batiri when the person can just do anything they want somehow, and they have this huge freedom because that can lead to decadence, and it can lead to maxaan ku dhahdaye nihilism and things like that somehow.
Yeah, definitely.
Ha, anigu hadaba waxaan taaganahay hade, and I want you guys to debate me on this if you want to, but anigu waxaan taaganahay no real freedom can be attained unless is inta adigu iska adkaatid weeyaan the discipline within hade ilama aad gaari weydid true freedom ma joogtid waayo qofku aduu maxaan ku dhahdaye aroortii hadduu markuu kaco uu routine samaysan waayo uu samaysan waayo wuxuu uu schedule samaysan waayo aanu isagii is ilaalin qof weyn waxaan ka hadlaya qof adult I'm not talking about ilmo yaroo dee loo talinayo qof isku talinaya ayaan sheegaya haddaan nafteena iyo dalkiina maxaa ku dhahdaye nolosheena aan u hagaajisan weyno qaab u aragti soo maaha in noo facilitate garin hadee noo saameyn ku yeelan doonta caynkaan u fikiri doono caynka waayo haddaan dee aroortiina goor dambe iska kaco habeenkiina goor dambe iska seexdo aan nolosha ka dhaco I don't think that's freedom. That's not freedom because do you know what I'm saying?
Like self-control.
Yeah, when it's at case within you, when it's at
Yes, when you can really like when integrity is freedom. Like when you what you say, you keep what you say and you do what you say. Like you know what I mean? Like
exactly.
When you really control your mind, your body, your thoughts. That's freedom.
That's it. So I think when I to get catted to actually experience freedom. I think that it's get keen Melba kaxilan tahay ba kanigtay markasta. Marka you're not really free. Unta kayta ka filaya khadaro. Marka I feel like you have to in the you have to be free from yourself first of all. You gotta be one of the noqotid qof adiga iska adag. So madalik or discipline on it is. And that discipline, what it does is that it affects other areas of your life. You understand?
Placed up to your higher self.
Exactly. Which is what I call my most high.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? That's my most high of the Somali rose, just to explain the way I think about these things. That is my most high. So that's the thing I'm trying to achieve.
I call it the state of your soul. Yeah, exactly. When you step up that when I did that realm, you're in control of really who you are, what you came here for too.
And I'm free to exist, and I'm free to experience life, Makasi.
Absolutely. Marcus, you can never abuse, oppress, or hurt anybody else because everybody else, you see them as part of you, right?
Absolutely.
والله أنا waxaan ku fikirayaa mataqaanaa to be honest man really when you see our Somalian people or Somali community we're not free that much free we can create our own free but like it always comes down to money the big issue comes down to money I think.
Yeah. Well, money is the financial freedom, right? So if the person is not financially free wax badan oo samayn karaya scared waayo their actions
marka idin mataqaana waa in aad iska adkaataa oo all of that waxay noqonaysaa you gotta have a motivation first and then you gotta have what you want to do waxyaalaha rabta inaad samaysid for example oo kale free ku noqonaysid money comes into it
like anything else like anything else health anu xorila xataa health comes into it you know what I mean get your ass up get into the gym get
and that's the discipline you were talking about Mom.
Exactly markaad samaysid ku noqotid it becomes a habit
you have the power.
Exactly. The thing is when you rob yourself from that power you put shackles on yourself. So anigu waxaan taaganahay my contention is this freedom kanaan ka hadlayno waa waxaan inaku gacantana ku hayno katiinadii iyo muftaaxiiba. So we have the cuffs and the key within our two hands. Marka amba waan xiri karnaa oo freedomkaas ka qaadi karanaa amba we can free ourselves and break these shackles. So labadiiba waan haysanaa. Lakin the thing is qofku waxaan arkaa badanaa dad yagiiba iyagoona iska adkayn. So doondoonaya xorriyad. Horta adiga iska adko. Markaad iska adkaatid, aad maxaa ku radaa ilaalisid, caankaad isu kacaysid, caankaad u hadlaysid, waxaad samaynaysid, aad iska adkaatid adigoo dee sir manage garayn kartid. Markaasaad freedom ka hadli kartaa. Laakiin intaan intaas gaarin hadda, maxaa ku radaa kama hadli karaysid.
You just cloud
Laakiin I'm
chasing
gonna
at the time. You just cloud chasing. That's what it is.
ha, exactly. You're talking to talk. Ha,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. I get you.
But at the same time, Inoku will live in the West. So Hakali, the context of the West. So my family. Dad baa
Yeah.
jira saaxiib geesta Africa aan sidan u hadlayno u hadli karayn. Aan sidan isugu iman karno aan isugu iman karayn. Dad baa jira iminka geesta Africa aan dee fikradahooda kala duwan aan soo bandhigi karayn. So marka that person is not even given the opportunity to be free. Hakan in the West, I would say we're given the opportunity to be free. So much. Like in order to be free, adigu horta iska adkow. Adigu iska adkow. Markaasaad oran doontaa, okay, I'm free. You take care of your pocket. Jeebkaaga maxaa ku dhahaya ka shaqee. Have some money in the bank, get some investments. Noloshaada healthkaaga, try to get to the gym or discipline samee. Wax samee, dhaqdhaqaaqa samee. Buddy, we live in like places where there's winter and we're stuck inside for all of winter because we're people of the sun. You know what I'm saying? Get out there, do something. Marka physically, marka health kaaga dabagashid, financial health kaaga dabagashid, and your wealth. Adigi baa noqonaya qof that can contribute and actually
Motivation, yeah.
make other people free. You know what I mean? Ha.
You're gonna have motivation when you do stuff like that. Motivation وحاول self love كيني أضاب استجعلاني and that has to do with محل earlier we were talking about self قفكات هذه when you discover yourself, right? Now you don't really discover because you're really in there. You just have to go with it in there, right? You say your higher self. What did you call your higher self?
My most high.
Yeah, your most high, yeah, your higher self. So qafkas, like when that person, when you communicate, I don't know, we're not manala bara in our higher self like communicate. I don't know if that's even allowed. I don't know. You can talk about that because that's how you know marka طريقة صح قالتكم what you need, what you don't need, motivation card. It's like your connection to God, ma.
Exactly. That's it. That's the thing we call God, which I call my most high, essentially,
Yeah,
right?
connection to the source, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So it's essentially marka waxaan leeyahay, at least in the West we're given the opportunity to be free, and some of us in the West are still not free because we're not free from ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? And we are given this opportunity, and there's so many people that would love to have it as well. Some of like anugu lakin my nirvana, my most coveted my most coveted objective would be to have what we have in the West in terms of freedom, to have the opportunity to follow our dreams and strive towards freedom in the Horn of Africa. That's my most coveted objective in this world, is to actually be on the beach somewhere in the Horn of Africa, and I can talk to Somali Rose and Khadr Farah while having some nice, some nice tea. And just have that to me is, and maybe I just lived in the Qurbaha too long, and maybe that's why I'm fantasizing about it. But I don't know if you can feel what I'm saying. Like,
no, we could put that out there in the universe, that it happened, one day. I said, actually, I do dream it because we have beautiful, beautiful coast. Like when I was in Somali, it's 17, 18, and 19, and I was really impressed. I was really impressed with what we have. And they actually said, if everything goes well, 2050, Somalia, because we have the longest coast or second longest coast in Africa, we could be 2050's highest middle class vacation destination for Asia because we have that. Yeah, I heard that.
That would be so nice.
Yeah, that would be so nice. So if we all like dream it and put it out there, it can happen. Nothing's too.
Because we have beautiful lands. We have beautiful lands.
We have beaches that look like Hawaii rocks, black rocks. We have beaches that look like you're in the Bahamas. You have beaches that look like you're in Florida. Like it's
gorgeous. There's like virgin, unexplored coral reefs.
Absolutely.
We have so much. We have such beautiful lands and nature, and That's God's country, yo. Like this is it's beautiful.
You go
Lakin,
from forest to desert within like 20 minutes, and then you go again, like you see mountains, and then you go again a valley, and then river. It's crazy.
yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. So I wanted to in Mata, like in Clubhouse, Delmer put me onto this song that I really liked. But, can we? You guys want to watch it with me? Because it's a hadalna duni, because to me it also symbolizes freedom of thought. Dadkiinu waa dad iyagu markasta isku mashquulsan, soo ma dareem? Iyagu ma isku mashquulsan oo warsan fikir iyo fikir baa lagu leeyahay iyagii baa freedomkiis ka qaadaya, soo ma dareem? And this song is actually very nice. Maslax baa ayaa sameeyey, Maslax and Sharma Boy. And I slated that one, please. I want to share this with you guys.
It's a freedom كتور brother.
I know. مهتني خضر ومهتني صاحي مهتني. So when kuso نغضنا نايو محكو that we'll talk about the lyrics, but let's listen for now and see. Oops.
مصلح اشكال الاحشرمه بدايه Somali boys.
Dummy deal on the beat.
adigu adiga unahaw aragtigaana lahaw adoonsi xorka ahaw adigu magacaaga lahaw adigu adiga unahaw aragtigaana lahaw adoonsi xorka ahaw adigu magacaaga lahaw adigu adiga unahaw adigu afkaaga lahaw adigu awoodaada ogo adigu go'aan kaaga lahaw adigu adiga unahaw adigu afkaaga lahaw adigu awoodaada ogo adigu go'aan kaaga lahaw adigu adiga adiga unahaw adigu adiga unahaw adigu adiga unahaw adigu adiga unahaw adiga kuwa ku eeda waa asaga waxa kuma dheera aragaagu hadduu dhibayo adoo qos layaala eega adiga kuwa ku eeda waa asaga waxa kuma dheera aragaagu hadduu dhibayo adoo qos layaala eega dhinacaday ka ahaadan caqligooga la miisaama awoodaaday ka didaane amusnaanba lagu dhaa adigu adiga unahaw adigu adiga unahaw adigu adiga unahaw adigu adiga unahaw waa ku sidee warna siidee hoode maxaa ku diidee abo mako iide sabar warya aniga kugu noqda nabar warya horta miyuu kaa degay badar carar warya suna cabo orodo barar warya sabar warya aniga kugu noqda nabar warya horta miyuu kaa degay badar carar warya suna cabo orodo barar warya أظن نفذ آمن وغلسيني أطلع فرحة دبوري أظن نفذ كيني أظن هذا الأسي أعود دسك الناري الله كواد الرضي الليل وقت الريني أظن نفذ آمن هي أخذ وغلسيني أطلع فرحة دبوري أظن نفذ كيني أظن هذا الأسي أعود دسك الناري الله كواد الرضي الليل وقت الريني adigu adiga unahaw 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 adigu adiga unahaw
That's hot.
Like I was saying, I don't. Kid was Somali reggaeton.
It is.
ولكن we gotta وانا حق بتقلنا وانا انما دانس وانا برنونيو we guys think when حق الدانس وانا يربط اصحاب تنيو. I'm kidding. marka wuxuu leeyahay adigu adun aho. That means you be you. Literally, that's what it means. You be you. Adigu un aho. Like, don't try to be anyone else.
Shout out to the Transformers.
Ah, that was a low blow, Somali.
horta ragga
Hi,
ragga
welcome.
fanaan waaye ogid ragga
Aad
fanaan
iyo
waaye
aad
waa
saaxiib.
fanaan
Aad.
ma fahan fanaan waaye I don't want to speak down on nobody but somehow they were on the highest point maho markay ku dhahayaan
Ha.
waxaa dhehaysa hadee
Maxaga?
the most high they are in the most high aan malaynaa
Yes, absolutely. maxaan ku way u socdaan. Ila waxaan waa safar fikireed weeyaan in khadaro. Ma aha destination ma aha. Waa safar. Soo fahmi. Marka waa journey weeyaan, destination ma aha. Soo fahmi. Marka raggani markay qorayaan miraha ma la fahanto horta miraha wuxuu leeyahay adigu un ahow fikradaada xor u ahow. That means nacam you have the freedom of your own thoughts, have the freedom of your own consciousness. Soo fahmi. Waa wax aad iyo aad maxaa korday u qiimo leh waxaan uu leeyahay. So markuu leeyahay adiga un ahow, you be you, that means qof kale aa u daba fadhiisan caynkaad noloshaada maxaa korday u noolaan lahayd. Do not seek anyone validation to experience life the way you want to experience life. Obviously, there's some limitations in qof kale ma xadgudbi kartid, qof kale ma faragelin kartid, lakin you grow within your bubble, within your own self. That's why I think it's a very deep.
No, man. Basically, don't have permission. Don't ask for permission to be you. Don't
That's it.
ask for permission to be you.
Nobody gets to give you that permission, Arthur. First of all, nobody's holding the cards on that. Adiga iskale fikradaada xor u ahaw. So that's why in heestan hadda tole waxaa daarayay in Dalmar. My brother Dalmar baa daarayay in Clubhouse ayuu ka daaray ahayd. And I thought it was the first time I was hearing it anigu. Anigu markaan hees maqlo aragta maaha in miraha when I like the lyrics, I really like to play it again and again, you know what I mean? What do you guys think of the song? What do you guys think of Shaggy? So first of all, Somali Rose, you caught the lyrics or did you catch the lyrics?
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say your Somali is it's kind of like Maslah's dancing, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm kidding.
No, that's all right. But no,
I'm messing with you, I swear.
Bro, but what I gather, it really made sense because that's one of the reasons a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety happening to our generation. Right? Because they can't really be themselves, express themselves. They don't get to be who they are. They don't have anybody listening to them, hearing them. What do you want to be? Who are you? How do you want the world to see you? How do you want to show up? Like usually, like nobody gets that chance. And I'll talk about our community specifically. So what happened is we have children or not that are now adults that don't know how to even express themselves. Like they can't put two thoughts together, right? And then we're seeing like, are you Somali? Are you whatever North American or whatever it is that you are? Like who are you? And who are that? Like beside that, if you were not all of that, if you take away all of that, who are you on the inside? And a lot of people don't get that. Well, then we don't sit with ourselves and to get to find out who we are. We're too busy with, this is not the life for you. If there's another life somewhere else, that's the problem. We need to sit down, take a breath, and stay silent. Like, you know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. We need to meditate. خضرة خضر صاحب.
I think Somali Rose, she was saying something very important to because I think for example I think it was really important that she say something like they don't know, the kids, they don't know what there's a lot of they don't even know what path to take. They're confused. You could see in them, some of them get shocked. Some of them get talked too much. I mean, I can see that in younger generation, but it's nothing. I mean, what's the advice? The best one I can give it to them. Well, lately, for a week ago, I gave one guy just 18 years ago, 18 years old. Then I gave him an advice. I told him, "Mataqana, everything doesn't. I think wax kasta mataqana, don't take it personal, Umar. Like, waxoogaa, like I didn't stand over him. I came down to his level, and then I told him everything doesn't run. adiga kuguma qusayso. You just need to process this, ma fahamtay, who you really are. Adi iska soo dhex saar waxaa tahay. Hadduu qofkaas kale ama qofkaas kale hadlo, don't take it camal. Ma fahamtay? Do you know? You understand what I mean?
Ada Somali nahay de sefleboda nahay. So
Yeah.
if we even think someone is talking about us, wasubudna. What are you? And you're right. That's a great advice. لكن خضروا هذا قفكوا سووا حكا وقعدوا هذا. There's work to be done. Advice are great, لكن there's also work to be done. قفكا سوى إنه فهموا ورك سماها وده قفكا سبا حرية ولحان كرا. قفكوا إنه ضدك كلا أقوده. سما ذلك. مركو قفكوا أقوده قفكا كلا ده فكرات
No, I'm
أنتوا
talking
حرية.
about. I'm sorry, but I'm talking about youngers that comes up or a little bit confused. noqonayo.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, I was just
Yes.
talking about that. But like, haddii noqoto xorriyad mataqaanaa, then waxay noqonaysaa dee something that adiga u dadaashid ay noqonaysaa. For example, ma fahamtay?
No, absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
But boys need guidance though, and like coaching, right? Because
that's what I'm saying.
at that age they're very willing, but most our Hydra community, the fathers at that exact age they're missing. And then I just hear that there's a pandemic, or like everybody becoming truck drivers. I didn't even know there was a thing because the other day I heard about it. So they're missing that chunk. Like when a boy becomes a teenager, like it's a fathering. He needs a certain thing. Even a girl, right? And the fathering has a lot to do with the authority and the discipline, and and the motivation. Like basically, he'll be your life coach, right? The one desire you're outside. The mom builds your inside, the love and the emotional intelligence and who you are, who you think you are from the inside. But the father kind of prepares you for who you are from the outside to the world. So
that's a good point.
He's gonna follow the example, for example.
Yeah, and that's not just for the boy.
Yeah, that's why he helps father.
Girl. Yeah. Because usually the reason we lack discipline is because fathers are not around. Because if your father gives up your past, as we speak, right? You're not. You respect authority. You don't ever get in trouble with the cops. You're good at your job because you like your father was the point of authority, the respect. You knew how to behave, right? So usually, and I heard the other day that a lot of Somali guys, the reason they like jobs that don't have bosses, and I'm like, maybe that's related because also a lot of women would rather have their businesses than to actually have a boss. So I said maybe that has a lot to do with it too, because the father is the one that prepares you for the outside world.
That's a good point. Like halada haywan al barano, the way to have discipline, and from there we can then have a journey to freedom, to strive for freedom. So واحد ده بس the way. Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a good point actually. I said today that it was going to be a quick one, so I think I'm about to wrap it up because I got some things to do. So speaking of which, Somali Road, what happens is that I got two boys. They're both in jujitsu, right? And so that discipline gives them a lot of freedom because having staying on the PlayStation 14 hours a day is definitely not healthy. So having these things inputted in their lives as a constant, I've seen a huge difference on when the human has a semblance of discipline that they follow versus when they don't. When you have that discipline to follow, then your mind learns how to be in the now. Your mind learns how to focus. Your mind learns how to strive for that freedom that you're seeking. Right. So there's a chronology to this.
You're coachable.
Exactly. So that's that وحصل دكتور لها.
Willing, yeah, willingness is what you're willing. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So حصل لها. So that's why I have to unfortunately cut it short today, but because I have to bounce and go, get them to get disciplined. Marka, what I mean? I know so it's so good. So I'm gonna give you some last words, Somali Rose, and then Khadra then Nogi Higidona, and Hakata Kuhedan Donna. So Somali Rose, go ahead. What are your general thoughts on freedom? Whatever you want to say, sis, go for it.
I just wanted to say, freedom is something that is very important. And it's like air, and once one day, if you deprive yourself enough of your freedom, you'll suffocate, and you don't want to die before your death. Like some people die before they get buried, and that's the worst thing. So live your life and look for your freedom, and know that the jail you put yourself in is all in your mind, and the key is in your hand. That's all I want to say. Thank you so much, Nomad, for having me today.
Hey, thank you so much and you're always welcome. You know that, right? So please don't be a stranger. But stick around for a minute, and we're gonna close out. Khadra Nogi Hiksi, so give me sahib.
Yo, aniga horta labadiina waan islaamaya habeen wanaagsan waan igu dhahayaa haddaa soo gabagabagay freedomkan mataqaanaa is a big sheeko waxa weeye is a big thing, but 2 words aan ka dhigayaa. You want it, you're free, go get it. That's it.
That is very deep. That's really true though.
Yeah.
simple حلل
Yeah.
aad baan adigana kugu mahadcelinaya khadarow intaad maanta nooga soo qayb qaadatay. Somali Rose, sis, I'll see you I'll see you on Clubhouse later. But thank you so much for coming on as well. Anugu, as far as I'm concerned, I think freedom is like my sister Somali Rose said, it's like the oxygen we breathe in. It's something that's actually necessary for the human being to exist. We are on this little blue speck of dust, flying through the universe. There's no reason we should be afraid. So let go of the fear, opt for freedom, or at least take on the journey to seek and strive for that freedom. But again, I want to thank everybody that took part of the stream today. So Mali Rose, thank you so much. Khadr Farah, Adi Admo Mahrini Walafi, and Tukahamadu, Khatakar Hamamata, Lakin, thank you for coming and sharing your thoughts with us as well. And like I always say, and oh yeah, please like, subscribe, share the video, please. That helps out as well. Until next time, the Somali Numo till we demo. Thanks everyone. Peace.